Hello everybody. Thank you for joining me for your weekly reading for April 20th to April 26th, 2020. I hope you've had a beautiful weekend. I did just put out the weekend love readings. I'll have them in the description as well as a playlist on my page that you can find. Keep in mind, time and energy are fluid, so these messages can apply any which way, so don't force it if it doesn't fit. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath to connect deeper with my higher self and spirit, and I do implore you to do the same. Call to Spirit to please on myself and anyone watching this to hear, see, and know anything we need to hear, see, and know for the week of April 20th to April 26th, 2020, keeping in mind this can apply anytime you watch it. We're going to be using Golden Dawn Tarot, Dragon Tarot, likely clarifying with 2 other decks, and doing a closing message with animal messages. We're going to do 3 shuffles and get into the energies for the week. So we have 3 of Cups reversed, we have the Princess of Swords, the 10 of Cups, the Lovers, the High Priestess, 4 of Wands, and the Empress reversed along with the Hierophant. Let's go ahead and take that out. Wow. This is an interesting way to start the reading. Let's straighten these out real quick. We'll jump into it. I mean, we have the Lovers and we have the Empress reverse here. And we have the 4 of Wands. This could very well be a counterpart situation. Can definitely represent your internal feminine energies. I think we're going to go ahead and take it both ways today. When I see the High Priestess on the table, I feel like this often represents lessons that are being presented to us in a way that are getting us to trust our intuition a bit more. So we're kind of needing to recognize the fact that if there's a veil in front of us and we're not able to see what it is exactly that's going on, it's because we need to go within ourselves and we need to get more in touch with our inner wisdom in order to see the clarity of the situation presented to us. I'm going to go ahead and take this a couple of ways. We're going to start out with the relationship aspect of the reading, and if we're doing so, this is going to be focused on a counterpart situation. This does feel like it's getting a peek into the divine feminine energy, keeping in mind that's not gender specific. But the fact of the matter is we have the Lovers, the 10 of Cups, and the 4 of Wands. These are all beautiful cards to have in a reading. And I'm feeling like right now there are some definite lessons in love that are happening. I feel like it has to do with communication. I feel like communication is being restructured right now, but I think it's recognizing the ways in which you can communicate better and recognizing the ways that your communication in the past may have led to some difficulties and may have led to some unfortunate endings is what I'm hearing, because we have the Hierophant and the 3 of Cups reverse. So I feel like this can represent some lessons that you're experiencing right now. I feel like you're actually getting out of some of the indoctrination. You're kind of leaving behind some of the dogmatic beliefs that have kept you oppressed in certain ways, or maybe kept you held down in ways that you may feel have made it difficult for you to be expressive in a connection. So if this is in terms of relationship and somebody you've been dealing with, maybe you're dealing with an air sign, we don't have any counterparts on the table, but we can apply this to a relationship, right? So if this is a counterpart type of situation, I feel like the fact that the Empress is in the reverse, Princess of Swords and 3 of Cups reverse, and the Hierophant, this to me tells me there is a definite lesson to be learned in terms of communication. It's really understanding the fact that just because you're saying something doesn't always mean it's going to come across the way you think it does. And it's really learning to, I'm not saying filter what it is you're saying, but really try to understand how what you say is going to affect another person. Not even just in the short term, but in the long term. So it's just understanding that your words have power, but also applying that to yourself, right? Understanding that the way you think and speak about yourself has a profound impact on the way your life will come together in so many different ways. And I feel like that's the main message coming through for you right now. So if you're somebody who resonates with the soulmate or twin flame type of situation, listen to your self-talk and don't place your worth in the hands of another person. because doing so is really just going to keep you in this stage of being in the reversal, keep you in this Three of Cups reverse, in this very non-celebratory, emotionally imbalanced phase. But it's recognizing the fact that a lot of the times it's not best to make decisions and move forward when we are feeling emotionally imbalanced. And that's also what I'm seeing with this Lovers here and the High Priestess, because the Lovers can represent a decision. I'm feeling like more than anything, the High Priestess is here to get you to recognize that acting out of the old ways you have before is what has led you to these Hierophant type of energies. And it's like, if you do seek a committal type of energy, if you do seek something that is going to be reminiscent of a twin flame or a soulmate, then is really understanding that focusing on your own inner worth and your own inner peace and balance is what's going to lead you down those paths, right? So if we're looking at this in terms of a career or a passion project or your own spiritual path, I feel like right now the lesson here is very similar to the decision lesson that came out with the relationship aspect. If we're looking at this Four of Wands here, I feel like this can apply to not only the relationship aspect, it can be the card of marriage, right? So this can represent a type of union that may be coming to fruition. But I feel like more than anything, if we're looking at this in the career aspect, is talking of the need to understand that your spiritual path is going to look different than anybody else's. And you can't really compare paths here. And by comparing paths or trying to fit your spiritual path into the box of like this Hierophant energy, because the Hierophant energy can represent society, it can represent a lot of the infrastructure that we build our lives upon, a lot of the indoctrination that has been placed on society, a lot of the brainwashing. And so it's really unlearning a lot of different things and recognizing the ways in which you've built your life based on those outdated beliefs, a lot of those old structures that are falling away right now, especially considering the circumstances. A lot of things are falling away in society, right? And I feel like this is what we can see here too. We can see this Princess of Swords and the Three of Cups reverse and the Hierophant and the Empress reverse. The ways in which we have taken advantage of other people, ourselves, the planet we live on, a lot of that's being left behind. I feel like we are restructuring the way we operate as a society, and we're restructuring the way in which we view ourselves in that context. And so I feel like the main lesson here right now is that yes, beautiful times are on the way. Things are clearing out, and I feel like that is necessary right now, both for the external and the internal. And so it's also recognizing the ways in which you have held yourself back by holding yourself down, by talking down on yourself, or thinking things like, oh, I'm not good enough, or this isn't good enough, or having that kind of perfectionist mentality. And a lot of the times you've taken that on from other people, other people's failures, other people's fears, things of the sort, and recognizing that a lot of the times that's just really not even who you are. That's just things people have projected on you. So I think right now it's getting to the bottom of what it is you should be doing, but in reason, and recognizing that you don't have to push yourself as hard as you did in the past. Like, you're at a position now where you don't have to push yourself as hard. You may have a little bit more time on your hands to focus on some projects that you've been wanting to focus on, or do some things that you've been putting off. And the energy is really fruitful for you to do that right now. We're going to go ahead and clarify though. Okay, so clarifying these two here, we have the Five of Pentacles. Clarifying these two, we have the Four of Pentacles. Clarifying these, we have the Knight of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacle energy. Then bottom of the deck here, we have the Eight of Pentacles reverse. I'm going to go ahead and take this King of Cups here too. Okay. So what I'm hearing here is the old is falling away for the new to be built. And that's what I'm hearing when I look at this Five of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can represent being left out in the cold. It can represent a resistance to change, actually, especially with this Four of Pentacles next to it. So we're going to do what we did earlier. We're going to go relationship and then career, personal growth, and things of the sort. So if we're applying this to a relationship, this can be somebody you're dealing with, it can be a water sign, it is the King of Cups, it can represent your internal masculine energy here. We don't have any counterparts on the table, so I'm really not going to take it down that route right now. Somebody does feel like they are left out in the cold. somebody feels like they have been kind of left behind. It's as if this person here, this King of Cups, feels like somebody else's energy that is coming through for you if you resonate with this part of the reading. So this feels like somebody that is kind of like, with this Eight of Pentacles reverse, they're like, okay, am I going to build this with you? What is going on here? Like, are we actually going to build this foundation? Because it feels like the foundation has been flipped upside down. There's no forward movement right now. And it feels like there's a lot of delays. There's a lot of just indecisive type of energy, which is actually contradictory to what was coming out earlier. I feel like now we're getting a perspective on the masculine side of things, even though we don't have the Emperor on the table. We do have the King of Cups here, and to me this does feel like the masculine energy, particularly with the fact we have the Knight of Pentacles here. So what I'm feeling like with this masculine energy coming through, again, this can apply to your internal masculine energy, so if you don't resonate with counterparts or twin flames or soulmates, that's totally cool. Just apply it to your internal experience and your own internal masculine and feminine lessons. The Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles here. With this this King of Pentacles energy, this masculine energy coming through. This does feel like this person, again, feels like they're left out of the cold. They're trying to determine what it is they did wrong. They're like, why did this person kind of just move forward in their own direction? Why have they kind of turned their back? Why are they just off in their own world? Without recognizing the fact that they're actually mirroring them. And that's what I'm seeing here, is like there's like a mirror right now. And the fact that the masculine energy is seeing this mirror going on is because they need to recognize the fact that they need to do this to themselves too. It's like them being turned away from is a reflection of the fact that they've turned away from themselves. So if you do resonate with this, if you're a masculine dominant energy, or if this just applies to your experience, it doesn't even matter whether it's a masculine or feminine dominant, like this can apply regardless. So if you feel like somebody has turned away from you and you're kind of trying to understand what it is that's happening right now, it's getting you to look deeper at yourself. It's like you're being left out in the cold for a reason, and it's not to hurt you, and it's not to make your life more difficult. It's to get you to recognize the ways in which you've been abandoning yourself, and getting you to recognize what it is you need to do differently when it comes to building relationships, when it comes to what it is you do for your career path, or what it is you're doing to pursue your passions, right? Have you abandoned your passions? Have you abandoned your spiritual path for another person, for a relationship, for a career, or whatever it is that resonates? Like, is there anything that you can change right now in this moment that's going to feel more aligned with who you know you are, considering everything that you've gone through, instead of trying to fit things to what you think you need to be doing, or trying to fit a relationship regarding what it is you think needs to be happening in your love life? So it's really like a complete restructuring of what it is that you know is aligned for you, opposed to trying to force something, trying to call it alignment. And I think the difficult thing there is really learning to let go of things that aren't in alignment with you anymore. But in order to understand what's in alignment for you, you really need to get in touch with yourself. And so it's this message that came out earlier of turning your energy inwards and stop focusing so much outwards, and really determine what you can do in this moment to focus on yourself and rebuild yourself up to a point of being able to know what is and isn't in alignment for you. Understanding you can always ask the universe for help and just say, hey, universe, whatever's not in alignment with my highest good or highest truth, like, remove it from my life. And a lot of the times you're going to watch things fall away one by one, and you're going to start to recognize how a lot of the things your life was built on was really built on a lie. And I think that is a difficult thing to accept, and that's what I'm seeing with this Hierophant energy and the Three of Cups reverse. There's this energy of recognizing how much was built on just lies and deception, and understanding that that is really just happening to get you into alignment with what is going to make its way into your life, right? It's going to be difficult at first, but in the long run, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to help you build things that are going to make you a lot happier than what it is you were experiencing. And if we're taking this in the route of career, which I would like to do because we did that earlier, I feel like the same message applies. It's like, in what ways have you sacrificed yourself to pursue a dream or to pursue a career that is no longer in alignment with who you know you are? Like, if you're continuously doing something just because you think you should do it, or somebody told you that you would be successful, or you're just doing it for whatever reasons that aren't in alignment with you, you're naturally going to end up either unhappy, or the universe is going to tear those things away from you once it gets to a certain point. A lot of the times when we don't heed the lessons of the universe, or we don't listen to the advice of our spirit, things are going to fall away. We're going to have tower moments because the universe is like, yo, like, you weren't listening. okay, like fine, we're gonna do this the hard way, like this is gonna leave your life now, this is the position you're in, you know, start from square one, decide what it is you actually need and actually want, and the universe will help provide that for you. It will work with you. The universe is never going to fully abandon you. If it ever seems like you're being like turned on, it's really just the universe trying to get you to trust yourself a bit more and to really just get in touch with your inner world, and by doing so, again, coming into alignment with what it is you know is true for yourself. Because I feel like deep down you really do know what it is you do and don't want, but a lot of the times we have to deprogram ourselves from a lot of the lies we've obtained and taken on from society, parents, friends, media, whatever it is. We're going to go ahead and clarify though. I am actually also, before I clarify, I'm getting a message here with this kind of twin flamey type of energy with this Empress reverse. I feel like the energy right now is this Empress energy is recognizing again what parts of the relationship were built on lies. And this can very well be this King of Cups energy that they're walking away from, or maybe you're walking away from a King of Cups energy, whatever it is. Maybe somebody's walking away from somebody else because they've recognized the ways in which this relationship just was really not authentic. There may have been connection based on, there was like trauma bonding, or there was a connection based on the fact that there was low self-esteem, or they were afraid to be alone, or whatever it was. Now it's coming to the point of recognizing what they need to do for themselves to not build a relationship on that any longer. That does not mean that you will never come into alignment with another person or the same person, but is basically just leaving behind the falsities of that relationship and understanding that's the lesson that is being presented too. I'm going to clarify though. Okay, so clarifying, I'm going to do it this way today. So we have the Six of Pentacles, so we have the Six of Swords reverse, we have the Three of Swords reverse, the Five of Pentacles again, and then at the bottom of the deck we have the Eight of Cups reverse, and the Wheel. I'm going to go and take the Priest here too. I'm also getting another message here pertaining to this Five of Cups, the Five of Pentacles energy, the kind of being left out in the cold, kind of walking away or maybe resisting change type of energy. It really feels like whoever it is that has turned their back has done so to walk away from the heartbreak, to heal themselves more than anything, and just leave behind the arguments and the bickering, right? Because when the Six of Swords is in the upright, to me this represents walking away from the arguments, moving towards calmer waters. But when it's in the reverse, that's telling me that whatever it was that was going on in this situation, again, this can apply to a relationship, this can apply to like a career setting with your coworkers or your boss, this can apply to a familial setting, this can apply any way it resonates to you. So again, take it resonates and leave what doesn't. But the main message I'm seeing here is there was a lot of strife, there was a lot of arguments, there was a lot of heartbreak. And I feel like the reason this separation is occurring, or whatever it is, this distance or this being left out in the cold, is really to get past this heartbreak energy. But the fact of the matter is, the Three of Swords is in the reverse. Three of Swords being the heartbreak card quite often. When it's in the reverse, it tells me you're healing from this. You've really let go of that heartbreak, and you really get into this space of not dwelling in that anymore, because the wheel here is turning. The Priest, the higher lessons are being learned. The the Eight of Cups reverse. You're no longer sticking around in situations that are keeping you in a state of feeling like you're going against your own inner truth. You're really no longer staying in situations that are not authentic to your experience anymore. And again, I think that's because you've had this time to go within, and you've had this time to really get real with yourself and start auditing your life and determine what it is you need to let go of. And I know sometimes that can be difficult, but it looks like you've seen the higher learning here, because the Priest does represent that kind of deeper spiritual lessons. The Priest is actually very similar to the Hierophant in this deck. I want to say they're the same card, but I'm not entirely sure they are. It does feel like the same. The Priest here represents the spiritual aspect of what the Hierophant represents in the physical realms. It's like the deeper soul contracts and the lessons being presented to you right now are being recognized, are being learned, and by doing so, you're moving away from a lot of this difficult energy and strife you may have been dealing with in the past. We're going to get a final pull here for you. Okay, so in between here, we do have Death reverse. We do have the Nine of Pentacles again, but it's in the reverse. I'm going to go ahead and do this here. We have the Nine of Cups reverse, bottom of the deck, we have the Sun, the Ten of Cups, and the Four of Wands. That's actually a really, really beautiful way to end the reading. Everything that is falling away from your life right now is going to lead to happiness. But understanding that happiness is fleeting, and inner peace and emotional fulfillment are often found within. Well, I mean, obviously inner peace, it's in the word, but you know what I mean. Emotional fulfillment needs to be found within yourself right now. Because it's interesting, it's like you have two Knights in the reverse. This can represent people in your life that have fallen away. But I feel like you may be resisting a change. It's like you're resisting whatever it is falling away. You're like having trouble letting go. And I feel like the Knight of Pentacles here represents the career aspect of your life, the material aspects of your life. And the Knight of Cups here represents the loving relationship aspects of your life. But the fact that they're both in the reverse, given that Knights are often seen as it's almost like a chariot type of energy. The Knights are people that move very quickly. They move forward. They're ready to go. They have plans. Somebody that really doesn't think twice. They know what they're going to do. They do it. They don't really think twice about it, right? All of this is being left behind. I feel like these are everything that's falling away in your life, and you're needing to accept that it's falling away because it is serving the deeper spiritual lessons for you right now. And that's what I'm seeing with this Four of Wands here. The Four of Wands represents the deepest of spiritual unions, the deepest of your internal spiritual learning and lessons and everything that it is going on spiritually for you. But it also represents the card of marriage. Yes, can represent a twin flamey type of card. You're coming into alignment with your own inner truths that is going to lead you towards this Sun and this Ten of Cups energy, which is very beautiful energy. I'm going to be honest. I know some of the reading was a little bit difficult in the beginning. Some of the things you may be experiencing are a little difficult. We do have the Ten of Cups out twice here. This can represent cycles, difficult emotional cycles that you're coming to the end of. Again, part of the spiritual lessons. And I think that is the main closing message here for you with these cards. It's like there are some really deep, powerful spiritual lessons you're going through right now. And it's not all going to be, like sunshine and rainbows. Like sometimes it's really difficult to do the work, and really healing some deep lessons, especially if they're ancestral in nature, it can take a toll on you. And it's really learning how to take a step back from that. But don't resist the changes as they present themselves to you, right? But it's also a reminder that, like, you don't have to move forward with anybody or anything that is no longer in alignment with you, because the energy is now conducive for that. The way in which we're operating as a society and as individuals is going to be more conducive to us being true to ourselves, to us being true to each other, and really a deepening of our compassion for everything and every aspect of our lives. We're going to get a closing message here for you with the animal messages, though. I mean, what I am seeing here, as I'm shuffling, it's like Spirit's telling me that emotional fulfillment is on the table. It is presenting itself to you. If not now, very soon. Again, I'm not somebody who really likes to do prediction or future type of energies, but it doesn't really feel like it's an event or anything like that. It feels like a very internal energy that is coming through for you. It's like the emotional fulfillment and the inner peace have always been there for you, but it has taken the universe removing all of this conflict from your life in order to get you to see that. It's this energy of like you're being stripped of everything you thought you were and everything you thought you knew, and you're like by yourself, and you're not like physically, you could be physically by yourself, but you're in this space of it feels like a very solitary, alone type of energy where you have nothing but your thoughts and nothing but your lessons to be learned. And now you're really facing the deeper truths. And again, I feel like this can apply to this masculine energy here. I feel like going back to the masculine energy that came out earlier, this is the lesson of the masculine wounding, is really understanding the ways in which the ego has run out of control, really understanding the ways in which you have obtained way more than you need, things that no longer are serving your life, and what you have obtained over the years has really held you back from your own spiritual growth and your own emotional fulfillment that you've been looking for this whole time, because you've been looking for it outside of yourself, but when a lot of the times those were reflections of what have been inside of you this whole time, and is needing to get in touch with that. Clarifying closing message. So we have the bee, we have the parrot. The bee says hard work is rewarded with responsibility and a sweetness that is shared. The parrot says let sunshine revitalize your soul and color transform your world. I feel like this is just a nice confirmation from the universe saying that, look, Everything that's going on for you right now and all this inner work and purging that you're doing is going to make your life so much more enjoyable in the future, if not already in this present moment. But it's going to take you doing the inner work. It's not something that can happen overnight, and it's learning to be patient with your process. Kind of sidetracking here, I just see sunshine, and then we have the sun, right? It says, let sunshine revitalize your soul and color and transform your world. And so what I'm seeing is like we have the sun here. I think it came out twice, did it not? No, it just came out once with this deck. And so we have the sun here. And it's like, let this newfound beginning for you color your life in new ways. Like, learn to enjoy your life in new ways. Learn to redefine what it means to have fun for you. Like, maybe you're going to start getting in touch with some innate abilities you've always had. Maybe you're starting some new hobbies, or maybe you're really starting to get in touch with what it means to be creative outside of creativity for profit, right? Because I feel like a lot of the times whenever we feel like creative spurts or we start to develop a hobby, we feel the need to commoditize it opposed to just doing it for fun. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying if there's not a separation between the two, it almost becomes like a job to have fun. You know what I mean? So it's really learning to separate the fun from the need to make money off of your passions, if that makes sense, but still understanding that that's okay to do if that feels right for you. But making sure you're doing it for the right reasons and you're not burning yourself out, because I feel like burnout can be a major issue, and that's what I'm seeing with this B card. It's like, don't burn yourself out. Like, make sure to find that kind of balance between, exploring your new fun passions, following your dreams for money or whatever it is that resonates with you, doing the inner work, having fun in the external, just finding a balance in everything that's going on. And again, balance is key in all aspects of your life right now: relationship, career, and passions. But that said, that is all I have for you. If you'd like to book a personal reading, please send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful week. Stay safe and stay calm out there, and I will see you in your next reading. Bye-bye.